My partner, 32M, broke up with me, 29F, after 10 years together. Now he's texting me with regret. A few days ago, my boyfriend, 32M, broke up with me, 29F. I'll admit, I saw it coming and maybe felt the same way too based off how avoidant he can be. I kept my calm and he cried and told me that he doesn't know how he feels anymore, that it hasn't felt the same in a long time. I asked if it was anything I did, and he said, "No, you've been an angel. You deserve someone better than me." He explained that he cares about me but isn't sure if he loves me the same way. We had plans of getting engaged soon. As far as I know, he was close to saving up the money for the ring I chose. A calm came completely over me, and I agreed and told him it's for the best. He cried and hugged me and just kept apologizing. I didn't want to show how hurt I was and just remained positive. I told him it's alright. He said he's going to continue to pay his portion of the rent for as long as I need. He's coming in a few days to collect his things. He kissed me on the cheek and hugged me again. This happened in the parking lot outside his job, after his shift, and he was sobbing as I drove away. I saw his location remained in the parking lot for many hours, until 2 in the morning. Then he removed me from location, and I removed him. I feel like I was hit by a truck. I'm proud of myself though for not crying or begging. I removed the relationship status myself on social media. Today, only 2 days later, I received this text. "I just have regrets about the other night. You had thoughts and ideas, and instead of trying anything, I just kinda blew them off. I feel like I just gave up on 10 years and that bothers me. The other night happened because I haven't been communicating my thoughts and feelings like I should have been, so for that I'm sorry. Is this breadcrumbing, an attempt at reconciliation, or something else? I feel like I need to be prepared as he is most likely stopping by tomorrow to collect his things." Too long did not read. My ex, 32M, broke up with me, 29F, after 10 years together. Now, 2 days later he's messaged me saying he has regret. Do I interpret that as breadcrumbing, wanting to reconcile, or something else? I need to be prepared for when he comes to collect his things. I don't want to be blindsided. He doesn't want you back. He wants the comfort of being with you and the life he knew back, because change is scary. Just move on. If he wasn't excited to marry you, then you shouldn't be with him. That's not a time after 10 years to work through doubts. There should be no doubts after 10 years together. For what it's worth, from a person who was in a somewhat similar position years ago, stick with your gut and don't take him back. That calm you mentioned was your gut telling you your instincts were on track. Trust me when I say you don't want to be married, with a mortgage, and with children and dogs 10 years from now, and realize you ought to have left him at this junction. He was trying with someone else and got rejected is my guess. Don't take him back. 10 years he couldn't commit then pulls this, you can never trust him again. Move on. They always do this when you finally leave. Don't give in. 10 years and still no ring is embarrassing. Let this rest. Who knows when he'll do this again to you. You've been together for a decade. He's old enough to know if you're the one to marry. Move on. It's tough. You're probably a safety blanket for him, but you both seem to have acknowledged that your time together has run its course. 33 male old virgin 14-year relationship with 33 female. Hi guys, I am a 33M and my girlfriend is 33F. So a bit of backstory. I have been with my girlfriend for 14 years. You would think in that time we would have had sex, however it hasn't happened. I have never really pushed the topic. At first I felt she wasn't ready for it. Then as we got older we would try, however she would always tell me to stop. I might get the odd blowjob every so often, but for the most part it's been mostly sexless. Given I am now 33, I have seen most of my friends get married and start having kids while I still feel like a teen in his first relationship. I constantly get asked questions: when am I going to pop the question or start having a family? It's so hard to answer that. So 2 weeks ago, we tried to do it again. I got lube. I ate her out. She gave me a blowjob, but when I tried to put it in, she started to say "I hate you" with a malicious tone that I have rarely heard from her. I immediately stopped. She said to continue, but at that point I was done. I put on some shorts and as I was doing that, she said she will give me a blowjob. I went to the bathroom, cleaned myself up, then went back to bed where we didn't talk about it, nor did I get that blowjob. We haven't spoken about it since and I've been short but pretending everything is okay, but I'm not okay. I don't know how to even process what has happened. I suppose why I'm here is to get your opinions on what you do moving forward. I'm sorry for the long post. Well, if sex hasn't happened in 14 years, I don't think it ever will. From what you're writing, it doesn't seem like your girlfriend wants. Is sex important to you? So we're all ignoring the "I hate you" comment in a malicious tone? Dude, she either needs an exorcism or therapy. But something ain't right. In 14 years have you guys communicated ever? Have you ever asked her about her feelings towards sex? Have you ever conveyed your feelings about it? Nothing from this post infers that you two have ever, in a relationship that has lasted half your life, had any honest dialogue about it, much less anything else. Do you know anything about her history? Any traumas? Underlying conditions? Anything? I read your comment history, and I need to ask, is your partner a trans MTF or something? You comment on some porn subs, but exclusively trans porn. So, what exactly is going on here? Having this as your only, copied, post, not having replied to any comments on the original post in the other sub, and going 15 years in a relationship without sex makes this whole situation extremely fucking confusing with this little context. You know, asking the internet for advice is usually very helpful because of the multiple perspectives, but I think she has all the answers. You can't just continue to do the same thing of not talking and expect that to change. Y'all, this can't be real. Face with spiral eyes. How do I tell my F21 boyfriend, M23, that I'm no longer a virgin? When I initially met my boyfriend, I was 20 years old and still a virgin, and he knew that. I broke up with him because it was long distance and he would go a whole day without texting me once on multiple occasions, and he started to feel distant. In that time, I had started seeing someone, but it was just hooking up, nothing long term. Of course that now means I'm no longer a virgin. Fast forward a couple months, my boyfriend messages me apologizing and saying he misses me and he'll make more time for me, so I give him another chance. Literally just now, we're talking and he says about meeting and wanting to make my first time special. Do I tell him I'm not a virgin anymore? And how do I break it to him? It's probably a rip off the Band-Aid moment, but I tend to overthink things and would need a direct way of saying it, so if anyone could help I'd be grateful. Why did you get back with somebody that was long distance and distant communication-wise? Anyways, tell him. Update. I said I was glad he brought it up because I didn't know how else to mention it, and I told him everything. His response: give me a hard time about it? I'm joking, but I hope he was shit. Thank you guys for your responses though, haha, just another case of me overthinking. This is a perfect test to see what kind of person he is, and whether or not you want a relationship with him. You two were broken up when you lost your virginity, so you did nothing wrong. If he loses his mind and freaks out, move on. Sure, it's gonna hurt to hear, but he had his chance. Literally just now, we're talking and he says about meeting and wanting to make my first time special. It sounds like he may be back with you just because he doesn't want to miss the chance to be your first. Go ahead and tell him the truth, then don't be shocked when he bails. For more context, is he a virgin? Best to just tell him. You two weren't in a relationship at the time, so it's totally a normal thing to happen. My girlfriend wants to break up with me because I take Viagra from her. 42M38F. 42M girlfriend is a 38F. We have been dating for about 7 months. Lately, I don't know if I am getting the beginning stages of ED or have some performance anxiety going on, or both. I got a script for Viagra and didn't tell her about it. Well, she found the pills yesterday. And now she is heartbroken because I hid this from her and doesn't trust me anymore. I have never lied to her about anything in the past. I felt very embarrassed about what was happening to me. Felt that I wasn't taking care of her in bed and didn't know how to bring it up to her. So I hid it. Now my entire credibility is gone. She's not upset that I took the pills. She feels betrayed that I wasn't open with her about it. I felt ashamed, embarrassed, and depressed over it. I know I should have been forthcoming about it, but now I'm viewed as a liar. How can I gain her trust back? How can I gain her trust back? Trust about what? For a 38-year-old woman, she sounds pretty immature about an issue like this. She feels heartbroken and betrayed? Way to make this all about her. And why are you obligated to inform her of any medication that you're on? How is that her business? If her doctor gives her pills for menstrual cramps or something, does she have to tell you about it? This is stupid. This isn't a big deal and she's blowing it way out of proportion. Just be aware that sometimes ED is the first sign of a cardiovascular condition, so I know a doctor prescribed the Viagra for you, but you should consider getting a workup. Better to be safe and waste money on tests that show you're fine than be dead. My husband hid his Viagra from me for the first 3 years we were together. However, I found it after 1 year together. I said nothing because he clearly wasn't ready to tell me. He finally did tell me after learning a friend's boyfriend takes it daily, and he realized no one really cared. He just said he was embarrassed and wanted to tell me, but wasn't sure when or how. In my opinion, literally not a big deal at all. He's in his 40s and that was very personal to him. And, honestly, who cares? You've been dating 7 months. How would you know you're expected to share your health history? That's a private matter you have every right to keep to yourself at this point in the relationship until you're comfortable. Dude, I'd let this one go. She is completely overreacting and acting like an ignorant teenager who think guys can sprout wood at will as they get older. She may not admit it, but she is taking it like you don't find her attractive enough. That is, she is making the issue about her. This level of immaturity at 38yo is pretty sad, but it's only been a few months. Good you found out early what she is like. Has she always been this level of drama queen? Hi op. I'm your age and I would never have this response to my man taking Viagra. It's understandable why you hid it from her. It's your personal medical info. There's a whole psychology for guys around Ed which she isn't grasping. Personally, I would wonder why she is so quick to yell betrayal and not consider your feelings. That's cold. Better women out there, mate. Trust me.